Hello guys and welcome to another legendary stream right here on Twitch and YouTube. Jakey, welcome in. Seb, welcome in. I hope you all have an amazing freaking Saturday so far. Today, I couldn't even nap properly because I was so excited. Today is gonna be crazy, scary, hopefully skillful, hopefully epic, hopefully successful. Oh my goodness, the big part of today's stream will be about good luck getting this one. An advancement where I have to kill Witch, Baby Turtle, Phantom, Piglin Brute, and an Elder Guardian with one single crossbow shot in the freaking end dimension. That'll be fun. That'll be fun, but we did a lot of preparation 3 weeks ago. In the meantime, I freaking won another national competition, and we also grinded a lot of craft mine stuff. So I'm literally 2 gold medals richer since we last got that. And obviously we're not gonna cheese it with any bubble column or anything. We are gonna get all 5 mobs separately into the end, all at once, shoot through them, and get the advancement. What makes it so difficult? Well, Baby Turtle literally has the smallest hitbox in the game. Then we have the Witch, which heals itself, so keeping it low enough for the moment is also going to be tricky. Then we have the Piglin Brute, which, you know, it zombifies in like 12 seconds, and then isn't the Piglin Brute anymore, plus is like the strongest mob in the game. Then we have the Elder Guardian, which, first of all, similar to the Piglin Brute, is structure dependent and is like one of the biggest mobs in the game, plus gives you mining fatigue, blah, blah, blah. And then we have the Phantom, which usually for 2x2 you would get a Phantom into a boat, but since we're working with Piercing 4, you can't just trap the Phantom in a boat. So trapping the Phantom by itself will be difficult, but I guess that makes the Phantom generally the easiest mob. Okay. We have a lot to cover today, but before we get to the cheated inventory challenge, which, mind you, is a hardcore world, but I have died, so it is not technically a legitimate hardcore world anymore. I'm just keeping it going for the challenge itself. I'm making that very, very clear, and it's just the crazy grind. Last time we actually also finished the last trader item. We'll get to that. I first want to start off with a little bit of Advancedly. I hope you guys aren't too scared of code. I want to quickly do 1 or 2 things here and show what I've actually worked on today. Today I've not been doing like anything for uni. I've actually just straight up been working on some Advancedly optimizations, and I think Advancedly is finally getting to where I wanted to. Because there were a few things that annoyed me with the overlay. So today I mainly focused on really perfecting the overlay. And I'm just gonna quickly show what I've done, and then we'll get to it, basically. So, very important. This is my beautiful Advancedly project. For those that don't know, this is my Minecraft tracker that I'll definitely be using for anything speedrunning related, because it's just so freaking goated. Let me now quickly check what I've done exactly today. Just going through my Git commits. What? Why does it not show most recent ones? Okay, there we go. So what I did today, fix typo, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, very important. There was actually a very rare issue that I ran into, where when you would switch between templates, that the overlay would just end up being blank. And this is mainly because I ended up, I used to kill the overlay process like immediately. And now it's slightly smarter, making sure that the overlay process finishes reading, sorry, it reads, and then it gets killed. So yeah, now basically with the overlay on, it should very fluently, yeah, always restart the overlay. So that was an issue I used to run into. That is now fixed. That's very, very important. And the overlay might already look slightly different if you've seen it in certain streams. And that is because I have now made it so based on the scroll direction, if we go to like -1, it scrolls the other way. The items now appear in the exact order that they are on the template. Finally, for this scroll direction, it was always correct. But if it was the standard scroll direction from left to right, they would actually appear in reverse order. And now you can see it's like stone pickaxe, then iron pickaxe. Then we'll have the iron ingot, right? And now it shows up in the exact order that it is in the template file. That's very important to note because the tracker actually groups the complex ones at the bottom. But now that's finally consistent, and that's something that bothered me for so long. So that's finally consistent. To not make this too long, another thing, since I've now introduced the option to customize the spacing of these rows, so if you uncheck this, it's just going to do dynamic, where it knows that it won't cause any overlapping text, but obviously you can just make it to 96 pixels, which is obviously just the width of these icons. And now this is completely up to you. Now you have overlapping text, obviously, but you forced the spacing here. And one of the issues with this was that if text were to, let's just edit the template. Let's just do the stats. Let's do brush used and like add a lot of text, right? Now we've added a lot of S's. This should be the template that I'm currently using. Let's speed up a little bit by holding spacebar. Yeah. And now you can see these S's, they came into frame way before the goal did. And this is really important. Obviously, I'm running a newer version here, so it's hard to show, but let me just give an example with the tracker version that is currently public, just to show like the difference. So here I'm obviously going through the Craftman template, but same thing. I'm just gonna edit one of the what's the best one? Let's just edit this advancement. I think advancement makes the most sense. So we see the iron ingot one. I'm gonna make the iron ingot like really, really long name. Okay? You can see it dynamically adjusts the spacing, but what if we force the spacing of the second row to be 96? Now, this is gonna be hard to tell, but you might be able to see that text kind of plops into existence right here. See how it pops in? Bang. Bang. Right? And this is because the background texture itself appears when it's invisible, but the text is so wide that when the icon appears off screen, the text is already visible. And so this was a really big change. Now, basically, based on the longest text width, it creates like a buffer here and make sure to create the icon early enough so that this text appearing doesn't happen, right? This only matters if you aren't using the actual spacing, the dynamic spacing. But It's just really, really important to mention that. So let's just revert this. Bang. Okay. And so, yeah, if we do the same scenario here, you will just notice that doesn't happen anymore. It's such an important change. So you can see like these S's. We go further. You'll see those S's kind of come into frame. As usual, yeah, right there. So they don't just pop into existence because this gold block is rendered way sooner now. So that's a massive change. That bothered me. I updated the craftmine templates. Right? Another massive thing. This is a little hard to show now, but I basically made everything fully consistent. Basically, the third row, when you have it to when you have it set to hide anything that's completed, you can specifically hide items in the third row as well. The third row was like handled completely differently. The way like things are rendered and disappear. And I've basically applied the same logic to the first two rows now as well. And this is now also tied to a way cleaner disappearing logic, basically meaning it's specific to the direction that it's scrolling. So easiest example here, if I switch to the craftmine test template that just has like everything there, just pay attention to like, let's say the deep slot emerald. Well, let's do the diamond ore. I check it off. Let's do this. So basically, you're correct. Yeah. It's a little confusing because like this is not a good example. I need more goals. I really need more goals. I need to do it here. Yeah. Let's just pay attention to the gold blocks. Right? I still have brush used. And so if I clear the gold blocks, the items from the left replace the gold block position. Right? Keeping the items in front where they were. And this is a huge deal, because now obviously if I invert the scroll speed by negating it, the gold blocks, let's speed up a little bit until we see the gold blocks. Speed up. Now, it basically clears a little further. It's a little confusing, but it now clears from the like right side. So items on the right replace from the left. Maybe make the spacing dynamic again. This is gonna go crazy. I need to do the brush thing in the stats. Bang, this adjusts. Right, and if we get rid of the ancient debris, you can see the bee nest takes the spot of the ancient debris. So it's basically always the items that come after replace the previous spot. And this is just much more consistent and avoids a lot of jumping around. And this bothered me so much. And this is basically most of that I fixed today. Was a lot of work, but this is all consistent across all rows now. And this finally gets a massive point off my list where I really wanted to make sure now that the overlay is fully consistent. So not only will the items now appear in the exact order as they are defined in the template, they also disappear by getting the items that just appeared forwards instead of dragging like already seen items backwards, because that's just like stupid. And so it's just way more consistent. And it's just lovely. lastly, there's one thing I'm forgetting. I actually added a new setting. Since you guys know, like the Hoglin, for example, the Hoglin is part of 2x2 and Monsters Hunted, which basically makes it a icon in the first row here that is used twice. Right? We should see this in a second. Right here. The Hoglin has like a diamond sword right here, because this is the Hoglin for Monsters Hunted. And you can now configure the size of this shared icon. When basically an icon is used multiple times, it can distinguish by overlaying it. This is what AA Tool does as well. And you can basically set the size of that now as well. Yeah, now I've made it 48, which is exactly the size of the icon itself. So now you can see the Hoglin that is for 2x2 using the golden carrot. Yeah, it has the golden carrot fully on top of it now. The default is 32. That's how I'll be keeping it as well. And that pretty much concludes everything here. I will obviously update the main README page and everything of the tracker to fit these changes, but I'm not going to bore you with that. Yeah, it's basically, since this is all dynamic, it basically just checks whether the file path to the icon file is used multiple times, and if it is, it applies the parent icon of the advancement. This also works with like grouped statistics, but that's a more niche thing that the tracker can do. Very, very cool. So yeah, a lot of overlay fixes. Finally, man. Those I postponed for so long because they were like really, really painful to do, as working with that code for the overlay has been breaking back and forth, but I finally managed to get it all working. It was a little painful, but we got it. And I'm so happy. So everything is just fully consistent with no matter what scroll direction you use, the items appear in the right order and clear in the most satisfying way. Not the way AA Tool has it, where like the item clearing leaves a gap that gets filled the next time. Mine, I guess, shifts over immediately, which I think is fine. All right. Now, with that said, I'm gonna get into a little bit of zero cycle practice, and I also was kind of planning on visiting a server of the Fat Rat, who is a very, very talented and probably one of my favorite music artists. The Fat Rat has actually recently made or set up a Minecraft server. Surprisingly, I kind of got interested in checking that out, but I'm not sure if I want to do that today. We'll see, because I'm kind of way too nervous to just get into the challenge today immediately, because I'd rather finish the advancement and then do the server later, but I don't know. We'll see. Okay, I'm like scared. Why is the frame rate set to unlimited? Can we like not be that? Oh, okay. I don't know why it always sets the frame rate to unlimited at first. That instance is just very buggy. Now it's set correctly. Okay. But yeah, I always love to give those small little updates on the tracker because it's my absolute passion project, and I spent the whole day today, but I'm very, very happy. I wished I managed to get like everything on the tracker main page as well. Like, one thing I definitely still need to do is make sure that once you visit the main page on GitHub, the main tracker page, that all the changes that I just mentioned now are also documented on there. So I'll add like a new settings screenshot, add the shared icon thing as a setting as well, and obviously that will also be part of the tracker release video. I'm making good progress. I wished I would have gotten a little to that today as well, but it's fine. I can't spoiler this. We're gonna go in here. All right, let's just do a couple random zeros. I'm not gonna go for super long here. I want to just warm up a little bit mechanically, and then we'll get into the Achievement Tour Challenge. And I'll explain everything that we're going to do. Obviously, the Achievement Tour Challenge itself will be for YouTube. And I already have the face cam in the right spot. Yeah, because last time I think I actually messed it up a little bit. So, let's just go. I'm going to actually take this little creatures down a little bit.